Yeah, I'll just get to it later. Is there anything I should read before Lagrange's Predestination? Yes. So Lagrange's Predestination, I would suggest reading his book on Providence first. So he has this work, Providence. Actually, one of my favorite, like 150 page overviews of the doctrine of God is in Lagrange's Providence. Lagrange's Providence is one of my favorite books. It talks about the spiritual applications. It gives a compendium of the doctrine, et cetera, et cetera. So if you read Providence first and you read, I think it's a prima pars question 22 and 23 off the top of my head, and 24 is Book of Life. So yeah, 22 through 24. If you read questions 22 through 24 of prima pars in the Summa, you read Lagrange's Providence, you should probably be mostly ready for Lagrange's Predestination. There's a few things here and there where I mildly disagree with Garrigou Lagrange on the issue of predestination, but it's nothing essential to the Thomistic synthesis, so it's nothing to worry about. It's a good book, nevertheless. So does the B stand for blacked? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. How Lagrange and Sola differ on predestination. Okay, I mean the biggest difference, you can read about this in Lagrange's the appendix to predestination. I think it's Appendix 1. It's on issues of the necessity of efficacious grace for easy acts, I think might be, or for imperfectly salvific acts, I think might be the question. So you can read that, and then Sola in his second article, which is translated in Do Not Resist the Spirit's Call. That's a collection of his 3 essays. So if you read that second essay, it's actually a response to Lagrange. So the big difference has to do with the necessity of sufficient grace for of efficacious grace for easy acts. So easy acts would be to, obey those, primary and, obvious precepts of the law in external acts. Sufficient grace is sufficient for a short time to, obey this precept, right? This is sort of the idea, or, to pray and to impetrate God from sufficient grace is, like, you would say that sufficient grace, because they are efficacious in a certain sense, they're obviously not absolutely efficacious, or they'd be the same as efficacious graces, because they're efficacious in a certain sense. He would say that for easy acts, that these are somehow sufficient, especially for the grace to pray and to impetrate further graces. These Sola calls imperfect salvific acts, and this is really the area where Lagrange gets a bit upset with Sola over. So, yeah.